going to be an example of the place value sections method for division with two-digit divisors. So this is a divisor and this is the dividend, so we're going to be seeing how many times the two-digit divisor goes into the dividend to get our quotient. Now the good thing about this method is that if you underestimate, it won't make a difference, whereas the digit by digit method will. So the first question I'm going to ask, and this is the first question I ask for any method, is how many times can 28 go into 1? And it can't. So I'm going to go over to the next digit, which makes it 17. And again, 28 can't go into 17. So I'm going to see how many times 28 can go into 176. So I'll put a line up here to mark my place value that I'll be starting with for my quotient, because 28 will be able to go into 176. Now, that might be a little bit challenging to see. I could guess and check how many times that will go in. But instead, I'm going to estimate 28 to be about 30. And I can also estimate the 176 to be about 180. So off to the side, I'm really thinking about it being 30 into 180. Now, if you're having a difficult time rounding those two numbers correctly, you can just put a 0 on the end and it will still get close to the correct number. So 20, and then estimating it to be 20, and then 170, estimating it to be 170. But I did the correct rounding over here, and because I have zeros on the end, I can cross those off and think, how many times does 3 go into 18? And that's about 5 times. So since it goes into about 5 times here, it's also going to go into about 5 times up here. So I'm going to estimate it to be about 5, but it's really not a 5 that I'm looking at. Because it's in the tens place, I'm looking at it to be a 50. So 28 can go into this number about 50 times. And now I'm going to multiply down. So I've estimated up, multiply down, and I can drop off the 0 to multiply, or actually we'll just placehold it right here. And then I'm going to multiply the 5 times the 28 off to the side. 28 times 5. And I get 140. I'm going to subtract to see what's left. So I estimate up, multiply down, subtract. And that's a 0. So again, in this case, 28 could definitely go into this more times. So this is going to be the new number that I'm working with. So the 363 is going to go up here. And I'm going to add this answer to what I already have. So I start the process over, and I think, how many times can 28 go into 3? It can't, but it can go into 36, so I'm going to put my new quotient answer right here. And how many times can 28 go into 36? It can go into 1 time. But since I am in the tens position here, I can actually, it's not going in 1 time, it's going in 10 times. I'm going to put a 0 placeholder there and here. Then I multiply the 1 times the 28. So I estimate it up, multiply down, 28, subtract, and I get 83. So this 83 is going to be my new dividend up here. Again, 28 can't go into 8, but it can go into 83, so my new answer is going to go right here. I'm adding it to my old answer. And again, I can estimate it off to the side. If you can't tell how many 28s go into 83, I can think of it as how many 30s go into 80. Cross off those zeros, and because 3 goes into 8 twice, with I'm going to guess that this is going to be about a 2. And then I'm going to do the actual multiplication. So 2 times the 28, again off to the side. And I get 56. Again, this was an actually it was not an underestimate because I have a 27 as my leftover amount. 28 cannot go into 27, so that means that this 27 is not going to be my new dividend, but it's actually going to be my remainder. So I can put my remainder up and add all the parts of my answer together to get 62 with a remainder of 27. Now if I wanted to check to see if this answer was correct, I could always multiply the 62 times 28, which should get me close to my original dividend because these are my two factors. And then if I add 27, it should get me to that exact number.